Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the AI Training Podcast. I have a very special guest today. Talked to him 2 weeks ago and still buzzing from that conversation. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, this is certainly going to be a lot of fun. For you're a man who doesn't need an introduction, but to make it easy on me, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Joe Apfelbaum. I'm the CEO of Ajax Union. We're a digital marketing agency. I'm also a LinkedIn trainer. I help people be able to use LinkedIn in a very effective way to get more exposure, more credibility, and get more meetings and help you get more out of LinkedIn. I also have a AI tool that helps people be able to use LinkedIn in a very effective way called Evie AI, EVYAI.com. And I'm very, very passionate about reverse engineering algorithms. I love artificial intelligence. I have a mastermind and a course called newaicourse.com. I'm so excited about what's going on with AI. I'm so fascinated about it. I'm so in it. I'm so in the depth of artificial intelligence. And I also just love comedy and humor and just having a good time. So thank you so much for having me here. And I'm looking forward to a productive conversation.
Well, love the intro. You're a man of many talents. Where to begin? I think that this conversation could go a number of different ways. Let's talk about what really fascinated me in our last conversation was what you're building, this Evie AI.
Yeah, so I was in Mexico about a year ago and I was chatting with ChatGPT, my new wife, and we were having a conversation. We were talking. I said, "Here, ChatGPT, this is what I do. I have a marketing agency for 15 years. I help people build marketing funnels and marketing strategies for their business to get an ROI. And I also have a LinkedIn training company. I've trained over 1,000 people on how to use LinkedIn, and I have a strategy, a 3-step process with an accelerator program and a course and this and that." And I started teaching it about who I am and my history and all that stuff. And then I said, "Can you give me some ideas for ways that I can leverage AI to be able to change people's lives? I really want to impact 1 million people." And it said, "Build a software. Build a software that helps people be able to write posts, leave comments, send direct messages, send connection notes, all written by AI, helps them get a top voice badge, helps them save profiles and be able to comment on those profiles, helps people be able to leave recommendations, create an AI that'll help optimize their LinkedIn profile. You're the LinkedIn guy anyway. You may as well have an AI that's a person's assistant." I said, "What should I call this AI?" And it gave me all these amazing suggestions on exactly how to build it, what I should call it, what I should do with it, how I should get the customers, who the most ideal customers are. It literally helped me be able to do everything. And right now we have 5,000 people using it. It's amazing. And we're just getting started. I want to help 1 million people on LinkedIn. There's 1 billion people on LinkedIn, but if I could help 1 million, I'm very happy.
That's awesome. The way you can just focus on what you want with AI, it's really about asking the right questions. What are some of the best questions you've asked ChatGPT?
Well, I said, "Can you marry me? Will you marry me?" I proposed. I popped the question. And Chappie said, "You can't afford me." "You can't afford me. You really want to get in a relationship with me? Do you know how much my tokens are? I'm a gold digger." We had a whole conversation. It was so much fun. But I've there's a concept called a mega prompt. A mega prompt. So that you can prompt it or you can mega prompt it. So a standard prompt is write me a blog post. A mega prompt is act as a marketing strategist and write me a blog post that is 200 to 500 words in this industry with these keywords, with this criteria. Don't mention this, do mention this, use these phrases, use this tone, use this. And the more you give it in the prompt, the more mega the prompt is, the better the content will be. I've chatted with ChatGPT to create images for me, cartoons. It now can create images. I've chatted with it in order for it to analyze an image and produce a spreadsheet out of that image. So I took an image at a trade show of all the attendees because they didn't want to give me the list of attendees. So I said, "Let me just take a picture of it." I took a picture, I threw it into ChatGPT. It organized all the attendees into a spreadsheet. And then I said, which one of the companies I should be targeting? It gave me the top 5. I reached out to the one on top and they hired me.
That's a great example. I think image input is really underutilized. What are some other ways you've been using image input?
I've been using image input to tell me, like, for example, my daughter saw on a Snapchat that her friend was at a building somewhere. And she's like, "Dad, can you tell me where my friend is? Because I'm ashamed to ask her where she is. I want to know if she's in Florida with me." Because we were in Florida. I said, "Let me take a picture of that snap." So she pulls up the snap because you can't save a snap. It's a snap. and I take a picture of the snap, and then I send it to Google's Gemini. Now it's called Gemini. Then it was called Google Bard, which is a different AI. And I said, "Where is this building?" And it said, "It's in Bell Harbor at the corner of whatever and whatever." Like it
Wow.
knew where the building was. I used another AI to tell me what type of trees I have outside my house and how I should treat them and which ones are alive and which ones are dead. I was going to hire an arborist for $1,000. Instead, I downloaded an app and used it for free. So, AI image input, so powerful what you can do with it. I cloned myself. I put a video of myself and the AI knows who I am. And it just turned me. I just gave myself an English accent. And that's it. Now I'm a butler. I have my own butler. His name is Mojo. If you know what I mean. With an
You're
English accent,
a
like Mary Poppins. Yeah.
you're a pretty funny guy. Have you used AI to help you with comedy?
As a matter of fact, I did. I do a little bit of stand up and I have AI help me flesh out my ideas and it tells me what's inappropriate, what is appropriate, because in my mind, everything's appropriate. And so it kind of helps me be able to come up with punchlines and with humor and with ideas. But for me, humor is about the unexpected. Like for me, it's like, why are you laughing? Because you didn't expect that. Like you were like, I was going down a road and I went down a completely ridiculous road, or I went down something that you resonate with in a way that's like, oh my God, yes. And so for me, I've been studying comedy for a long time because it's one of my core values is levity. And so 100% I use it for comedy. I actually use it to give me dad jokes as well because sometimes when you take the right substances, dad jokes become super funny. So yeah, 100%.
That's great. I studied some comedy about 15 years ago. Did Yuck Yucks in Toronto, and probably about 12 shows. Then wasn't prepared. Didn't you know? Uh, let's just say I got on stage in front of a small room of comedians and just bombed. It was the longest 5 minutes of my life, and I hadn't done it in 15 years, and did it 2 weeks ago. I had I gave myself 2 hours. I'm reading this book by Noah Kagan, Million
I
Dollar
love that.
Weekend,
I love that book.
and you like that book?
I
So
also love
his
Contagious.
I haven't read that one.
Yeah.
So his How Not Now inspired me to get up and do a set. So I had ChatGPT put together 15 or 20 Norm Macdonald style humor, and I'm in Northport, Florida, so it's retirees, and I wanted some very specific. The audience is all 60 plus, so I did a 5 minute set, just kind of held my phone and went through the jokes. But after I wrote the jokes, I spent 2 hours editing and figuring out what's going to work. But it was so much fun, and as someone who also enjoys a good laugh, I think it brings this this speed to joke, like
A
I don't
hundred
know how to
percent.
describe it.
I mean, not just that. If you think about like the concept of like writer's block, you think about the concept of like being
Mm,
stuck and not being sure, like you have no idea what to say, and now you have a prompt. Now you have a starting point. Having a
yeah,
starting point is huge. So many people are creative, but they're not willing to get help from somebody else. Having a group of people to be able to help you out is very important. And ChatGPT and Google Bard and Pi.ai and Anthropic Claude and even Evie AI, all these tools are idea generators. They help you brainstorm, they help you research, they help you create strategies, they help you summarize content, they help you do so many things. And if you learn how to use these tools, you can be able to do things in a more effective way, but you have to like not be afraid of.
it's a good point. And I think one of the things that people say is one of the hardest things to do is get up on stage and do stand up comedy. Do you remember your first experience doing it?
Yeah, I remember it was the Gotham Comedy Club. And the crazy thing about it is I went to a school called the Manhattan Comedy School. And they didn't really train me very well. There were 6 sessions over the course of 6 weeks in the summer where you just got up and did a 2 minute bit. And there was 50 people in the room and each person would do their 2 minute bit and then everybody would go home. And I would be like, this is not helpful. Like, I don't even know what to do. And I kept complaining about my ex-wife. I was like, what is going on here? This is a terrible bit. And then they said, okay, let's all go watch people. The night before we're supposed to go, we go watch people. And guess who shows up on stage the night before I'm supposed to go on that same stage? Jerry
Who?
Seinfeld.
Wow.
And I'm sitting right by the stage and I'm like, I'm gonna be on that stage. Talk about pressure. 300 people in the room. Jerry Seinfeld's up there for 30 minutes, just making everybody fall off their chairs, and that really brings up the pressure. And I invited tons of my friends and family to come. That was like a requirement.
I did the same. Must have been 30 people, and I did not prepare for my parents or their friends to, I didn't write for them.
I know. So anyway, it wasn't dirty. It was good.
Nice.
And I had some Indian accents. I had some stuff that I did, and it ended up working out pretty well. Like at the end of the day, people laughed. I got a couple. I didn't get a ton of laughs, but if you go on Google and you search Joe Apfelbaum stand-up comedy, you could find me on YouTube or whatever. And it worked. It worked. And since then, I've been more inspired to not necessarily do stand-up comedy as like a thing that I do, because no one gets paid really unless you're a big celebrity, but as part of my like everyday, seminars that I do. I'll make sure that I'll be humorous and I'll make jokes. And I see the joke coming. I see the joke coming like it's a person. I see the joke just like you get what I'm saying? I see it coming like in the distance. I see it coming, pun intended. I see
It's
it
your
coming in the
superpower.
distance, and then I can either choose to like take it, like the muse gives me the joke and I can take it, or I can just let it go and just kind of, and so sometimes I choose to take it, and I go for it, and then people crack up or people bomb. And you know what? At the end of the day, is I'm not doing it for people to crack up. I'm doing it because I crack
I
up.
know the feeling of just smiling at something you say, right?
Yes, that was
And
clever. That was yesterday. I was on my phone and I was just thinking of this joke, and I was like, "This is so good!" And I just started laughing, and my kids are like, "What are you laughing at? Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's inappropriate for me to tell you, but like, oh my god, this is such a good joke." It feels
it's
so
like
good. Yeah, I totally get it.
you, you're making yourself laugh.
Yeah,
And I think anyone who's doing corporate training, there is a room to practice things that may not be suitable for, every corporate training.
yeah,
So it becomes a playground. And I think that it makes you a bit looser
yeah,
in your other content. Because if you never have the sandbox, so to speak, to get on stage and say whatever you want in like the comfort of a comedy club, I think you're missing out. So for anyone listening, give stand up comedy a try. Just to don't think too much about it. That now, not how. Yeah. A
yeah,
little quick
100%.
quick plug for $1 Million Weekend, because it's a quick read, and Noah's done a lot of amazing things in his career, so check it out.
Yeah.
On the topic of books, what do you read? What do you like?
Well, I read 2 books per month. Last month I read James Clear's book, Atomic
Yeah.
Habits. Such a great book. Like that book was like, oh my god. This book, that was my primary book that I focused on last month. This month I am focusing on The War of Art, which talks
Oh,
about resistance.
I love that book. That is my revisit. I
Such a
will
great
listen
one.
to that, at least once a month.
I mean, we need to.
And
We need to listen to
yeah,
that book. That book is so, it's such a great book.
you ever listen to the audio?
Yeah. Yeah. I love listening to the audio.
The whoever they got to narrate that is it him? I don't even
I
know.
think so. I think so.
Yeah, it's great. So that's a really good one. I'm surprised still how many people don't know about it. Like when I talk about or talk to people about books, I know Seth Godin didn't know about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And um, but what else do you like?
I like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Getting Things Done, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I love Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I like the classics a lot.
Hmm. Have you uh, done anything in terms of turning some of these books into GPTs that you can pick the author's brain?
Not yet, but it's definitely something that I am considering doing, especially for an author that I absolutely love and adore, like Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
It is a definitely a thing that I want to do.
So I've done this with many books now,
Oh, really?
and it's amazing. It's got to be my favorite hack for ChatGPT is taking a PDF. Now, the ethical implications are you should own the audiobook. You should own, you know, contribute to the author, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't share these books as they're like my personal GPTs.
Right.
Um, so I'll get the PDF, turn Kindle into PDF, do some kind of manipulation to get it there, and then I'll upload it as a personal GPT. Give it the book name, and then whenever I'm like, you know what? I need that information now. I've got all the tools at my disposal to really dig into the ideas in the book. I've
Yeah.
done this with Hermosi's books, which is a great, he's got a lot of really good information in there. A couple of others, Story Brand is one that I frequently revisit. But yeah, you can take your favorite books and make them actionable in the most incredible way.
Yeah. Story
Um,
Brand is an incredible book.
right?
Yeah.
Did you do your website copy based on that book?
Yes. It's very, very good. Very good.
Yeah. What a what a gem. Um,
Such a gem.
I love talking about books, especially with people who like to read. Who are some of your comedy kind of heroes? Who do you like to watch?
Jerry Seinfeld's always excellent because it's so simple. Sometimes it's in the simplicity of, just, keeping things so simple. It's so simple, stupid. He's been really fascinating for me as a person who has created literally a show about nothing. If you think about that for a moment, he's really good. Joe Rogan's funny. I don't know if you know, he's a
Yeah.
comedian. He's
Yeah,
so
I
funny.
watch a lot of Joe.
Yeah, so I have a lot of comedians that I kind of just listen to like on Netflix and I don't remember their names and then I just love
Hmm.
them. So I don't really memorize their names, but there's some really, really good ones. There's the guy who has like an Italian accent. You know what I'm talking about? He's like the Italian guy, whatever. He's like,
Yeah.
there's Fluffy. You know Fluffy?
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah. He's really good as well. I forgot his name as well. He's like a Spanish guy from California.
Hmm.
Really, really, really funny. I like, Chris, whatever his name is. Um,
Rock?
yeah, Chris Rock. I forget the names. Really funny. Jim Carrey's hilarious. Um, Robin Williams, he was just fantastic. I mean, his jokes are like next level.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just watching these people and watching them just be magical is just, so good, so good.
Yeah, I've got a number of those guys in my social feeds that always put a smile on my face.
Yeah,
Um,
and also like just even looking up the top canceled comedian, like for example David Chappelle.
yeah.
I find him extremely funny. Not all of his
Mm,
stuff, but some of his stuff. And Louis C.K. I wanted to say him in the beginning, but then I said, you know what? Let me just first say top canceled comedians, and then pull up Louis C.K.'s information. Because Louis C.K. is like,
yeah, he's got a lot of great jokes
yeah, yeah.
for sure. Um,
I never liked Bill Cosby. I wasn't into him. Never liked his humor. It wasn't about, I just nothing to do with what he did, but I just never liked his humor.
Same. There was always something about him. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Jeff Dunham is super funny with his puppets. I
you
love him.
you
He
were
was
saying
canceled?
you were saying you watch some Netflix with the comedy shows on there. Did you ever see The Old Man in the Pool? Mike Birbiglia.
No.
It is a masterclass in comedy.
Really?
Really, yeah, yeah. I think you'd love
Wow.
it.
Okay.
He's one of these like normally don't remember his name, but that one he's been doing it. He's probably had like 5 specials. So all of that learning leading up to this most recent one, really impressive to see what people can do over a career,
Yeah.
right?
Agree.
So those later shows, uh, you know, I don't know when the next time I'll be in New York, but I would love to see a 5-minute set of yours.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, happy to do that.
That would be so cool. How often are you putting yourself on stage?
So I'm on stage a couple times a month, just, doing seminars and things like that, but doing stand-up comedy maybe once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I
I
definitely
haven't.
prioritize business
Uh-huh.
seminars over stand-up. What about you?
Well, considering I hadn't done it in 15 years,
Oh, wow.
I'm on the once a decade, uh, but I'm planning on doing it more. So I play guitar and sing and songwrite,
Oh, nice.
and I just got a little tired of singing the same songs to the same people. So there's a couple people that do stand up comedy at this open mic that I go to. It's actually tonight. Maybe I'll do
Oh, wow.
comedy tonight. Uh, so yeah, I'm doing it tonight.
Where are you doing
uh,
it?
so in I'm in Florida,
Okay.
and there's a radio station here that does a live broadcast,
Oh, nice.
and it's called Common Grounds. It's like Florida local radio, and they have a really nice listening room that they've built. So it probably seats, I don't know, 30 people. Most of it's music. So you have all of these retired guys who've been playing for a long time, and they're just singing their hearts out, talking about. You get a mix of covers and things like that, but it's like the quietest listening room I've ever been in. Everyone's very respectful. You would not have a heckler if you were doing comedy. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect playground to have a little fun. What are some of
100%.
the rooms you like to play in New York?
So Gotham Comedy Club is amazing. Um, there's um, there's a couple of custom places where people do pop-ups. Those are my favorite. I get invited to pop-ups, like I did in the YJP. I did a pop-up over there. I go to Governors, and I don't know if you know where Governors is in Long Island. So
No,
I'll go there.
I I'm familiar with some of these names. I see the images on the back of comedians who are sharing things, but I haven't been to any comedy clubs in New York actually.
Oh, you've never been. You never. Okay, so when you
No,
come, go to.
I've been to New York, but
What about
you know,
stand up New York? Have you ever done that?
no,
Okay, yeah, it's a great place as well.
I think I need to do just like a
A
tour.
tour, yeah, a
Yeah,
comedy tour.
there's probably many places that have early and later shows, and so you
Yeah,
can
there's
probably
tons.
hit a few in a night, right?
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many, and
I'd
they're
love
easy to
that.
get into. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm manifesting a trip, so maybe it'll be sooner than later that
Ah,
I'll
exciting.
I'll be seeing you on stage. Um, so that's cool. We could switch gears a little to talk more about what are these seminars that you're helping people with?
Well, so I talk about LinkedIn and I talk about artificial intelligence. So whenever I do a seminar, that's typically what people are hiring me to speak about. So I
Hmm.
train people on how to use AI for business development and how to use LinkedIn, how to create a LinkedIn strategy, how to get more exposure, how to book more clients. I have a LinkedIn training program called the LinkedIn Accelerator program that's happening in March. And we have a really great course and we have a really great coaching program. So yeah, essentially that's what I do is I help people be able to succeed on LinkedIn.
They sound like a silly question, but there's no such thing as a bad question, right? You ever get tired of talking about LinkedIn?
No, I don't. I don't get tired of talking about
There's a
LinkedIn
little
because
hesitation.
I mean,
I'm just
like I
kidding.
was thinking to myself, like, do I get tired of talking about LinkedIn? No, I don't, because there's so much to talk about. Like I can talk about LinkedIn for the next year and not get tired because talking about LinkedIn is talking about networking. It's talking about relationship building. It's talking about personal development. It's talking about thought leadership. So it's not just about LinkedIn. It's really talking about the ideas that help you be able to really grow your business. I mean, I can never stop talking about growing my business. There's never going to be a time where I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't want to grow my business anymore." Like growing my business is like progress in life. That's really the thought. Thought is like growing your business is like literally having progress in life. If you want happiness, if you want joy, if you want freedom, you need growth. Growth doesn't come from just sitting on the rocking chair and rocking away. And if you want happiness, you need to have progress. Progress equals happiness. Not for everybody. For some people, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'd rather not grow. I'd rather be a nobody." Like, okay, you want to be a nobody, be a nobody. But the reality is, if you want to grow, you got to show up and you got to do the work. Doing the work is really, really the
Well
key.
said. As you're speaking, another book came to mind, The Gap and the Gain.
Ooh,
Have you
that's
heard
a
of that
big
one?
one. Yeah, that's a really good one. A lot of people
Yeah,
recommend that book.
you mentioned happiness, and I love this one for getting the right measurement of perspective.
Yeah, 100%. That's a big one. The gap and the gain is a big one.
Yeah. Have you read also some of the other uh, Dan Sullivan books, 10x is easier than 2x, and Who Not How.
A lot of people have been talking about that book. I haven't read it yet.
Both, I've turned them both into GPTs. Uh,
Yeah.
so those are great. What is your biggest challenge as a leader?
Biggest challenge as a leader is to stay focused. Where focus goes, energy flows. It's so easy for me to kind of sway my focus depending on what's going on. And so it's something that I constantly need to remember. Hey, stay focused. Your team is following you. If you're not focused, your team's not focused. And so making sure that you're constantly being focused is really essential and that you're staying the route. So many times I want to change this and change that and change the other thing. But really focusing is essential.
Yeah, it can be certainly challenging. What do you do to help you stay focused?
Knowing your goals, sharing those goals, having accountability from people, knowing your values, making sure that you're living your values, checking in with your excitement. Are you excited about what you're doing? If you're not excited about what you're doing the wrong thing. You got to be excited about what you're doing. You got to, people talk about passion. I talk about excitement. Passion's great. So passion comes and passion goes. Excitement is something that you got to really be fired up in order for you to go uphill, to go against the grain.
I'm reminded of the book Enthusiasm Makes the Difference.
Enthusiasm is huge.
Have you read that one?
No, I haven't.
I think it's Norman Vincent Peale. It's an old one.
Oh, nice.
It's like 7-8 hours, and they're just talking about enthusiasm. It's like,
We
all right,
definitely, yeah, we definitely need one. It's big.
yeah.
Enthusiasm is a big deal, and many people are afraid to be enthusiastic.
What has you the most enthusiastic right now?
Evie AI, using AI for LinkedIn.
And what are your goals for Evie?
I want 1 million people to use LinkedIn with artificial intelligence. I want I want to impact 1 million lives. I want to help you grow your business. I want to take your life to the next level. I'm launching a software. Have you heard of Go High Level?
Yeah, I've actually maybe your you know how the algorithms are always like, did you figure out I was looking at that yesterday? I was
Uh,
reverse engineering someone's funnel using Built With, and I was looking at some of the tools in there, and Go High Level came up again. What about it?
so I'm launching a Go High Level aspect to my marketing agency. I'm calling it Unlimited Digitalmarketing.com. If you go to Unlimited Digitalmarketing.com with 2 Ds, I like to put a double D in my URL to make it more stand out more.
Available?
Yeah, to make it stand out a little more. So
Yeah,
unlimiteddigitalmarketing.com.
the $10 domain versus the $10,000 domain.
Yeah, you just gotta add some
Unlimited.
more some more D energy in there.
So give me it
Unlimited
again. Yeah.
unlimiteddenergy.com. Unlimited digital marketing. Unlimiteddigitalmarketing.com. Oh my god, unlimiteddenergy.com. I gotta look into that, see if that's available.
I just bought it.
go go from where? GoDaddy?
Namecheap.
Namecheap.
Oh, you don't want to use, well, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, and maybe this has happened to someone else, but in the past, I've used GoDaddy to do a search for something that I wanted. And then within like, you know, call it 2 hours, it's like, oh, somebody bought that and now it's available for like $325. It's
Yeah.
like, you guys, this is like, at least I haven't had that experience with Namecheap. This,
How much is how
based
much
based on
Namecheap
search intent.
is their first year $6 and after that is $20 or it's always $6?
I think I'm paying a premium, honestly, but I have everything there, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, I heard Namecheap is a lot cheaper for like domain names.
Um, and it's around $10,
Yeah,
and then
GoDaddy's $20.
oh yeah, well then it's a little cheaper. Um,
Yeah.
sometimes I try to look for which countries are, you know, you go over to a .in India domain, and sometimes you can get global rates for different things. Um, so it doesn't necessarily work for domains. They're usually pretty consistent globally. But certain services like hosting um, can be cheaper in different parts of the world.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah. Well, I lived in India on and off for 8, 9 years. Uh, most of my 30s, I was on a beach, hanging out with hippies, learning to play guitar, and I got out there working with a technology company that was doing process automation, AI, and a big IBM partner. And I was doing sales and marketing for them, and they had me lead a team uh, from Goa. And the owner's a great guy. This guy VJ Thomas, and
Wow.
I'd been working with him for a year. Uh, I broke up with my girlfriend, and we were living together. So I went to him, VJ. What am I going to do? He's like, how would you like to go to India? And immediately I was like, yes, let's do that. So I went for a week to with him to meet the team. They have about 50 people working out of a converted residential building, and met everyone. I'm the token white guy in the office, and it was awesome. I'm living on or near the beach, and before that I didn't play guitar. But when you're hanging out in a place with musicians from all over the world, and they've got open mics a couple times a week, there was one open mic on a Monday. Every Monday, at least 300 people, and it kind of mixed outdoor venue. Everyone's sitting on the floor smoking joints, and they're listening to music. And each musician gets one song, so you get this
Wow.
beautiful mix of music, and I just have like the best time.
What
So
what
a big,
music do you play?
uh, I play songs to make women smile. That's my genre.
Like what?
They're all inspired stories from my travels. So one of my more popular songs is called Yoga Girl, and it's just every time I play it, even here, I'll get the whole room to be singing along to a
Wow.
song they've never heard about, and that lights me up. And it's also one of these things that if I don't share, the song doesn't exist, because it's not really, it's recorded, but it's not like that experience of bringing people into a shared laugh or whatever. So that's been uh, that's been a real treat. What about
Wow.
yourself? Tell me, have you got to travel a bit in your storied career?
I've been to China.
Cool.
I've been to Russia.
I have
I
not
have
been to Russia
I've not been to North Korea.
yet.
I've been to China, I've been to Russia, I've been to Paris, Europe, the UK, Greece. I've been to Africa, to South Africa, Johannesburg.
Hmm.
I've been to Melbourne, Australia. I've been to Maui before it got burnt down. I've been to Alaska, and I played with the bears and the eagles and the fish and the salmon,
No way.
the zombie salmon. And I saw whales, both types of whales, the orcas and the killer whales, like all the different types of whales, the humpback,
Hmm.
whatever. Um, I've been to Mexico, to Argentina, to Brazil. Yeah, I've been around the block. I've been around the block a couple times. Israel, I spent a lot. I spent 3 years living in Israel.
Wow.
And then I've been to California.
That's that's so cool. So many places on that list that you've shared that I have and also haven't been to. What did you think of Russia? So in Goa, they have a huge Russian community, like Russian mafia. So geographically, it's like India, Goa is kind of like South America. So they'll get out of the cold, and they'll live on a beach for 6 months, and then they'll come back to Russia and do business and whatever for the next 6 months. So it's kind of like an Indian snowbird, or a Russian snowbird. Um, when were you there? Do you speak any?
Да, я
Да?
понял по-русски, я понимаешь по-русски. Что ты хочешь? Почему ты нет машины, а тебя работу? Да, ты понял? Ты понял? Ты знаю,
Sí,
я
sí,
говорю
I'm speaking
по-русски.
speaking Spanish. Да.
Да,
Uh,
да.
я говорю русский язык,
Очень
потому
хорошо.
что
Потому что,
uh,
да,
моя мама
да.
и она украинка. So,
Ah, I went to
um,
Ukraine.
yeah.
I
Ah,
went to
I loved
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
So I went to an orphanage in about 22 years ago in
Uh-huh.
Ukraine in Dnipro.
Yeah.
And in that orphanage, I just helped little kids with, just chilling with them. And it was like a Pesach program for 3 years, a Passover program. So it was really cool. I got to learn Russian. That's when I learned it.
So, so you're still hanging out. How long were you there?
I was there for 3 weeks. And so when I finished with the orphanage, we went for a tour of Russia. After that, I went from Kiev to Russia.
So which region were you in? I'm trying to
Dnieper,
geographically.
by the Dnieper River.
Oh, Dnipro. Yeah.
Dnieper. Blah, 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 blah.
S-
Yeah,
So
exactly.
years ago, I lived in Kiev for a month, and I was in Lviv for 2 months. I loved Lviv. What a beautiful city. Ended up got some friends that live there, and I joined a squash tournament, and I nearly won. I came second out of a bunch of guys, and I technical fouled because I was swearing too much after every point, and
Wow.
it was amazing though. What I like a nice borscht. They've got this place called Pozata Hata,
Oh
which is
my
kind of
God.
like their Mandarin of Ukrainian food.
Amazing.
But what a cool place. What's on the list? You've traveled quite a bit. Where's somewhere that you've never been that you're like, okay,
I want to go to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica,
Yeah. I want to go to Guatemala.
nice.
I want to go to Panama. I want to explore Middle America, Central America a little bit.
That's cool. You were saying earlier you were in Mexico. Where were you?
Cancun slash
Okay,
Playa del Car slash. But was both in the East Coast and in the West Coast. I also went to Cabo.
it's been a
And
long time since I've been in Cancun. What's it like now?
it's very modern. It's like a U.S. It's
Hmm.
basically another city in the U.S. It's very, very modern, very high end.
Have you been out to the other coast, Puerto Vallarta?
I've never been there, but a lot of people swear by it. They're like, "Oh my God, it's so amazing," blah blah blah. But I've just never been there.
Yeah, I was there not too long ago. I lived there for about a month and spent another month in Sayulita, about an hour and a half north of Puerto Vallarta. Have you heard of
Amazing.
Sayulita?
No, but I have a friend that is very frequent that goes there very frequently.
It's a very walkable city, cobblestones everywhere. You know, that is a place that I could spend more time. Great time zone. It's like a little surf beach town. If you like open mics, they've got three, pretty much either karaoke or open mic every night of the week. So just had a great time there. That's definitely a place that you get a lot of smart remote workers. So for just the casual um, meeting interesting people, uh, you get a lot of really interesting people that come through there. So
Yeah,
I would put it on the list.
cool. Yeah, I definitely want to explore Mexico more. I think it's a great place to be.
How's your Espanol?
Yo hablo español perfecto. ¿Tú hablas español también?
Muy necesito practicar. Uh,
¿Necesitas practicar?
sí,
¿Por qué?
porque no sé. I was living in Colombia for 6 months, and my Spanish should be a lot better than that. But
6 months y solo hablas.
yeah, no, no
¿No
perfecto.
entiendes?
Maybe I'm just feeling the pressure to perform Spanish.
¿Por qué?
No sé.
¿Estás sintiendo la presión?
I don't know. I don't know, Joe.
Sabes.
Uh, but I was in Medellin for most of that time.
I've never been there. I want to go there as well.
Put it higher on the list. It
Oh, really?
is. It is. Uh, if you also have to get some work done, they've got fantastic internet, uh, co-works, tons of restaurants. Cost of living is great.
If I didn't
I
have
th-
kids, I'd be traveling the world
Bring them.
like constantly. But I have 5 kids. It's expensive.
Hmm. That's a big family.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
The youngest is 7 and the oldest is 17, and they're in school and they're busy and they're living
Uh,
their best life.
no
Yeah.
shortage of things to places to
100%.
get them. I guess you're in New York. Which part are you in?
I'm in New Jersey. I was in
Oh,
Brooklyn
you're
for
in
many, many years. Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Nice. That's that's super cool. So it's family trips when you're traveling now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Love that. So you excited about your next comedy show? Do you have a date, or is that something that you kind of just show up?
I kind of just show up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Joe, this has been a lot of fun. I wanted to help people find you. Uh, what's the easiest way?
It's really easy to find me on LinkedIn. If you go to joelinkedin.com, or you just search Joe Apfelbaum, or you go to joeapfelbaum.com, or you go to ajaxunion.com, or you go to eviai.com or evergreen.com, or any of these websites, you'll easily find me. So I'm very accessible. You can Google me too. You can find my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my TikTok, my Twitter. I'm all over the place.
With all these platforms, obviously LinkedIn is your main focus. Are you doing much on YouTube? Is that a platform that you utilize?
LinkedIn is my main platform because it has people that have their first name, their last name, their company name. They verify their profile. It's a very powerful platform with a lot of very influential people on it. Versus other platforms. It's like, yeah, I don't know who's owns that TikTok account. Like, I have no idea who's behind that Instagram handle or that Twitter handle. It could be anybody, or that YouTube thing. Like, it could be anybody. But on LinkedIn, you have to verify with your ID now, with a government ID, and it tells you who the person is, which is really cool.
I love that. Another testament to practicing what you preach. Joe, this has been a wonderful experience. I appreciate your time, and let's do it again sometime. And I'll let you know when I'm in New York. Love to hear some of your comedy.
Thank you so much. Likewise, I would love to hear some of your comedy, and I want to hear your music as well.
Well, we'll get together, and I'll share some stuff with you.
I would love that. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks so much, Joe. Have a
Take
great day.
care. Bye.
Let's stick around for just a sec.